Every Thursday for the past several years, friends of Dottie's come to her living room for what they call sit and knit. And it's exactly as it sounds. The friends knit and chat and laugh. Dottie, who grew up in Nova Scotia, said she really didn't enjoy knitting at first.
My mother taught me to knit when I was 4 years old, and she made me turn a sock. Now, I don't know if I could do that today. I sit and cry, and my mother say, take it out, do it over again till you get it right.
Do it till you get it right.
The old school discipline.
It was. My grandmother taught me how to knit when I was a kid, and I certainly can relate to Dottie and going through that, because you're like, why would I want to do this?
Right.
But
are you still doing it?
No. But I did get to the point where it was calming, and I wanted to do it. I just ran out of time.
She may be taking it back up in the next few days.
I'll join you, Dottie.
You'll have plenty of
This is
time to
over.
do it. And Dottie's mind is so sharp. She remembers so much of her life. She grew up in her grandparents' home with her mother and father and her father's 3 brothers. She was an only child, but she wasn't without a friend.
My father had sheep, and one sheep had twins one spring, and one was not well. So he gave that to me to bring up. Now I was about 5. Oh yes. And I was to feed it. I was to make sure it had clean hay every day. And that thing followed me. I never could get rid of it. And it would cry when I'd go in the house and shut the door. That thing would cry terrible. But they wouldn't let me take it in the house. And I got so frustrated with him because he would never leave me alone. So I had no companions but a lamb.
It's almost like talking to a time machine when you have a conversation with her or listen to her, because you think about, okay, those memories are from 1920 when she was 5 years old and had that lamb.
It's absolutely remarkable. And when I asked her, she said she had to compile a list of inventions for one of her granddaughters for a thesis she was doing. I said, what was the thing that made the most difference in your life? Without skipping a beat, she goes, electricity. And I didn't even think of the fact that she grew up without electricity. Just remarkable. Here's Dottie's take on fashion and parenting all in one story.
Now we went to school in our bare feet. Oh no, and my grandfather made my shoes. Made everybody's shoes. He was a cobbler. They were the hideous things. Awful. And so I would take mine off when I got to the end of the lane to go to school and go on my bare feet and hide my shoes, but my grandfather found them. So you know where I went? To the woodshed. I tell you, spare the rod and spoil the child.
That's an old school phrase. Not everyone may be familiar with that. When you're taken to the woodshed, that means you've been punished.
Yes.
Right.
That's a little bit 1920s right there in terms of the vernacular.
But I love that she hated those shoes so much, she was willing to go to school barefoot in Nova Scotia, probably in some pretty cold weather.
Yeah.
That's fair. Well, my mind thinks about all the things that you would step on the way, but back then, I think there were fewer disgusting things to step on.
Actually, that's probably not true. There was a lot of horse manure back then.
That's true. Good point.
That's true. But I think we can all relate to something our mother made us wear when we were younger that we would have gone naked instead of wearing
Toss it off, get rid of it.
Yeah. But Dottie attributes her long, healthy life to many things: eating well, getting enough sleep, and all the way back to her school days.
We had a bucket of water, 1 cup for everybody, and a clean towel every day to wipe off the rim of the cup after you drank out of it. So I built up an immunity.
From sharing all those germs.
Sure, they didn't know what germs were.
It's kind of an interesting thought in this particular
Yes.
time, isn't it?
Yes.
Exactly. As we're practicing social distancing, not sharing anything, that was just a regular day at school.
Pretty remarkable to think that Dottie lived through the terrible Spanish flu epidemic of 1919, which was the worst pandemic of modern times. She made it through that, and now she's experiencing this one.
Great
That's
point.
true.
Great
She's
point.
going through, she may be one of the few people who's going to live through too.
Yeah.
Possibly my favorite story Dottie shared was about her sweet husband, George, who she was married to for almost 60 years, and how she taught, and she also taught me the difference, of an outhouse and a privy. What did you think when you met him?
He was a hick. Oh, a hillbilly hick. He was. But he got better. Now, do you know the difference between a privy and an outhouse?
No, but I want you to tell me.
A privy is attached to the house, and I have one. Out way out. The other one is out in back of the barn. When we moved here, they had no bathroom. They used the privy. And I said to my husband, I will not go up there until there's a bathroom. He said, there's no place for one. I said, well, you find one or you go by yourself. He found one. He did.
I think we've unlocked the key here. Comedy is what keeps that life going.
It's so true. And she said he was a wonderful husband, very supportive. He said, I'll worry about the outside of the house. You worried about the inside of the house. But she got what she needed. She needed a bathroom, and she got it.
She has the best laugh.
She does.
She really does.
And, you know, we've been talking about history. If there's someone in Lewiston, in central Maine, who has an interest in history, somebody ought to be doing an oral history with her and talking about her life in its entirety and getting that all down for the record, because she's an amazing resource.
She really is. She's so sharp, and we really want to wish her a very happy 105th birthday.
Happy birthday, Dottie.